Welcome to the Living It podcast brought to you by Primal Race. We're here today with Tiffany. But first of all, thank you so much to our sponsors, Pure Prep and Buffalo Whey Protein. And to find out more about our sponsors, please check the description in the caption. We're just going to dive straight in. So Tiffany, you've obviously got a wealth of experience in the world of sport and fitness and health. But I'd like to start actually by going all the way back to the beginning.
Okay.
And if you can tell us about your origin story, shall we say. So how did you first discover your love for fitness and sport?
So, growing up as a kid, I was always active. My dad was an athlete. He was a wrestler, surfer, baseball player. He forced me to do every sport imaginable, hiking, and I was super into dance. I was a cheerleader. So I was just obsessed with working out from such a young age. I was leading all my friends in little workouts and doing like DVDs in my living room.
Wow.
And I would say I always just thought it was a fun thing. But when I was 18, my dad passed away with a disease called ALS. And it's basically a disease your muscles slowly deteriorate and you can't walk anymore when you eventually pass away. And when that happened, it just kind of shifted everything for me. And I realized I want to make it my passion to help people feel the best in their body inside and out. And I just didn't want to take movement for granted. So after my dad passed away, I decided I want to be a trainer. I want to never take this for granted and just help others.
Wow. I mean, I'm so sorry to hear about your father.
Yeah, thank you.
But he sounds like a very inspirational guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, surfing, wrestling, two very different sports right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was obviously a great sports person himself.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that must have been really inspiring for you and definitely something which would have then led you to obviously getting into sport. So you mentioned that you began doing a little bit of everything, I guess, cheerleading, you mentioned and a few other things. So talk to us now a little bit later in your journey, your early 20s. Where did you really discover your passion? In what sport did you find in your 20s then, early 20s?
Early 20s. So basically after high school, that was the last time I was a cheerleader dancer.
Mm-hmm.
And then I immediately started training, I would say more high intensity type training.
Mm-hmm.
Like boot camp kind of style. And I also started teaching bar classes, which is kind of a mix of ballet, Pilates, HIIT workout. And then I started teaching at HIIT, fitness studios.
This is in LA?
Yeah.
Okay.
So really young, already just basically went to college for a little bit, dropped out and decided I know what I want to do, so I'm just gonna start training people. So I started teaching at studios all over LA and personal training clients and got my certification. And then around 23, 24, I opened my gym.
Wow.
And it was all HIIT style classes, so kind of like a Barry's boot camp. We had treadmills, strength equipment, and I would basically just have my clients go from cardio strength. And yeah, that was basically, I would say HIIT style classes became my passion for my 20s.
Must be an extremely competitive landscape in LA to open a gym. So I bet that would have come with a lot of challenges. But I guess, is the fitness culture there in LA booming, I guess? Is it? People are, I mean, we spoke briefly off camera today about the similarities between somewhere like Dubai and somewhere like LA.
Yeah.
A lot of it is about how you look, and looking good is obviously a big part of that. So talk to us a little bit about the fitness scene and the fitness culture in LA.
It's definitely, I think LA kind of leads it for all of the world.
Oh, wow.
Because every time I see a fitness trend happening in LA, it kind of hits the rest of the world maybe 2-3 years later. I think nowadays, obviously places like Dubai, Miami, I think was just announced right after LA as far as the fitness scene. With social media, things are kind of catching on quicker. But yeah, in LA, it's definitely to the max. Everyone's obsessed about what they look like, about constantly moving their body. The wellness scene, organic food, everything is just it's so just a normal part of life that it wasn't until I left California and started living abroad that I didn't realize the rest of the world like didn't live like that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize like the rest of the world didn't work out every day, didn't prioritize fitness and what they look like, and also didn't prioritize like eating so clean and
Hmm.
eating like organic and all of that stuff. And then when I lived abroad, I realized, oh, I didn't like we're actually really privileged in LA to have this such a big part of our life. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's I would say it's an obsession, and also it's just like everyone's lives revolve around fitness and wellness.
I think as far as obsessions go, though, I mean, at least as far as I'm concerned, it is a healthy obsession.
Yeah.
There's obviously extremes in any obsession or addiction, you could almost call it.
Hmm.
But I do feel like if you are going to be addicted to or obsessed with anything, I mean, health and sport and
Yeah.
fitness is pretty good things to be obsessed with, right? Because it
Yeah.
just naturally comes with so many benefits.
Hmm.
Um, I was recently in the UK. I'm from the UK, and I do feel like things like this, like your sport, your emphasis on how clean you're eating, just being very conscientious with where your food is coming from and how frequently you're working out and stuff, it has taken a back seat in the UK. And I do think
Hmm.
that it does have a damaging impact on society as a whole.
Yeah.
And it is one of the things, I mean, I'm now based in Dubai, but it sounds like LA is somewhere I would like to go and to experience that culture, because it is one of the main things that I do love about Dubai is that everyone, they love working out, not
Yeah.
only for the social side of it, but also for their own health and wellness.
Hmm.
Very conscientious about their food and what they're putting in their body. And it's just so easy to be healthy
Yeah.
in places like LA and Dubai,
Yeah.
which is really
It's
nice.
so easy to be healthy back home, and everyone is in workout clothes 24/7. So it's just like,
You have to look good.
yeah, 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 you really do. I mean, there
Yeah,
is like obviously a lot of people in LA are models, actors,
yeah.
but even just like in normal people, like I'm from a beach town right outside of LA, and like people, these are just like, it's normal to be a mom and in your 40s and you're fit,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
So,
yeah. I mean, I think I need to go there.
yeah,
I've never been
yeah.
to LA, but actually, we will be taking Primal Race to LA. It's going to be our first stop in the US when we take it there. So that's
Oh, amazing.
stay tuned for 2027. No, amazing. LA does sound amazing, and obviously you had a gym there, so your knowledge of the fitness scene there and the culture around fitness is obviously very very strong. But
Mhm.
you're obviously now based here in Phuket.
Yes.
So tell us, how long have you been here in Thailand?
I've been in Thailand for 4 years. I did 1 year in Chiang Mai and then moved down to Phuket. I left the US, I don't know, around like 8 or so years ago, lived in Europe during COVID and Turkey
Oh wow, Turkey,
and
interesting. Yeah.
Croatia, Turkey, Portugal, Italy, and then came to Thailand.
So you've
Yeah.
traveled a lot.
Yeah.
So did you talk to us about the traveling? Was that related to the fitness scene, or
Yeah.
how come you traveled so much?
Yeah, so when I was around 27, 28, I'm like really bad with timing.
Yeah.
It feels like a blur now. I sold my gym and then I started getting hired globally. I started in Hawaii and then eventually moved, like, did it in Bali, Costa Rica, but I started getting hired to be the head trainer at different gyms and also do gym consulting.
Okay, brilliant.
And so I stayed in Hawaii for a little bit, then Costa Rica, then Bali. And then I was doing that for a bit. And then basically COVID happened. And when COVID happened, it allowed me, I went through a weird transition where I never really wanted to be an online coach.
Hmm.
Like, I
Hmm.
love training people in person and the whole, like, so I don't know, the community feel of like bringing a community together. But COVID happened, and then basically everybody started asking me to train them online. And all my old clients from when I had my gym reached out to me and they were like, "Can you train me online?" I think, especially in LA, time is of value, and people don't have the time to wake up, go to a gym at 5 in the morning,
Mm.
come back in LA traffic, change, and then go back out to work. So people just started to build like home gyms or bought like dumbbells. And then I started posting like Instagram live workouts, and eventually, yeah, I built a whole online clientele. So that allowed me for the first time in my life to just start kind of living wherever I want and then just have this like online business. But it's funny now because I feel like people who want to be online coaches now kind of sometimes will ask me like, "Oh, what advice can you give me to like build this like online coaching business?" And I'm like, I never really like tried. It was more like it just happened
Yeah.
because of COVID. Yeah.
But it also sounds like you had, I mean, you've obviously got the knowledge and the experience anyway. And
Yeah.
then just through circumstance, because of the shift that happened during COVID with home gyms and on all of these things, I mean, it sounds like, like it almost feels like you're saying like it just happened, but I do feel like you are a great person to have slipped into that.
Yeah.
Like you had the foundations, and then that sort of happened, and you obviously saw the opportunity and took it, and obviously you're doing really well with it as well,
Yeah.
which is great, because I mean, you touched on it a little bit there. I do feel like, unfortunately, some people are trying to get into this online coaching world, probably for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you're clearly very passionate about it. I mean, even
Yeah.
if you just look at your content, you can tell. But even talking to you now, I mean, you're very knowledgeable in the space, and it happened circumstantially, but you had the client base there already, so it
Yeah.
was almost like the perfect storm. I feel like other people get into it because they feel like it looks very glamorous.
Yeah.
But as I'm sure you'll probably tell some of our listeners, it's not as easy as it looks, and the work
Yeah.
behind the scenes is overwhelmingly huge.
Yeah,
right?
definitely. Yeah, I can't even tell you how many people come to me and they're like, I just want to be an online coach and like get rich quick, or they want the whole, I think social media has changed everything. Everyone wants to be a famous influencer now, and you see these people and they, not to hate on them because I'm glad everyone like loves and is passionate about fitness, but I do see a lot of people in this space who they train themselves, they get in the best shape of their life, and then all of a sudden they're selling a program and training everybody, and I don't feel like they actually know how to apply to like people who have different lifestyles or
Different genetics.
yeah, different genetics, and like it's not just a one size fits all. And yeah, like these people aren't truly passionate about it.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree with you more, and on it is it's nice to hear you talk about it, and it is nice to meet someone who actually is in it for, I guess, the right reasons.
Yeah, thank you.
Because I also think that some people think that it is easy, and I think that an important part of it is, if you are going to do the online coaching stuff, brilliant, but you need to understand that if you're going to do it and do it well, it really isn't easy.
Yeah.
The thing for me why it's a small bit of a bugbear for me, I guess, is because the average person's knowledge and understanding about fitness is actually quite low, and I feel that a lot of people exploit that.
Yeah.
And they just provide in these generic programs that are not really adding any value to people, and they're just cashing in.
Yeah, totally.
And they post some cool Instagram videos, which obviously then draws in their clients, and yeah, it's just it's a little bit of an ecosystem, which obviously isn't great at the minute, but there are amazing people out there doing the same thing as well. So let's just hope that the people who are looking for the support find the right people. So that's what I'll say about that one. But yeah, that's really cool. So you find, let's talk a little bit more about Phuket then. Because we're in Phuket now, we're in Pure Prep, obviously a beautiful restaurant here in Chalong on the Soi, world famous fitness street. So tell us, how much time do you spend here on this street?
Pretty much every day.
Yeah, cool.
I live in Rawai because I like to either start the morning or sunset. I'll walk the beach. I just feel like it's grounding, and I love like a little walk and then a swim. But yeah, I drive to Chalong almost every day, and I train. I'm the ambassador at Kong
Okay,
gym,
yeah, we know it.
And then I also train at Superfit. But it's actually funny because last year I competed, and I trained in Rawai every single day, like spent all day, every day over there. And then when I finally like started driving over here and Superfit opened, it's just like such a great community over here.
Yeah, I mean, the gyms on the street, I mean, myself and the team, we love them. We've worked with a lot of them. We work quite closely with Unit, and we've done a few things with Kong. We've obviously trained at pretty much all the gyms here, and
Yeah.
it is so cool. For anyone that hasn't been here, it
Mhm.
really is a very special experience to come
Yeah.
here, and you've got so many world-class gyms with great coaches, all
Mhm.
within a 1 kilometer stretch. I
Yeah.
absolutely love it. And then you can grab your smoothies and your fruit and your coconuts,
Yeah.
and it's all just like, yeah, it's so
Yeah,
good.
and like there's so many places that you could just get a macro counted meal. You know, you don't have to really like put much thought into
Yeah.
anything when you're on the street.
So talking about tracking your macros and all these things. So you've competed on stage, right?
Hmm.
Would you like to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I had never wanted to actually like be in bodybuilding. I love bodybuilding as in like I feel like when I entered my 30s, I started realizing that pounding my body with like hit every day just didn't feel the best,
Hmm.
and I started lifting weights and I just felt like my body transformed, and then I just felt like I don't know. I literally felt like I reversed in my aging when I
Wow.
started lifting and just like gaining muscle instead of just, yeah, like just doing so much cardio all the time. And then, yeah, so I would say last year, I one day was in the gym and I asked my friend and I just said, "Hey, what do you think about me like one day
Hmm.
bodybuilding?"
Hmm.
And my friend was like, he had done a lot of bodybuilding and I'm really close with like him and his partner. And they were like, he was like, "I'll coach you if you decide to do it." And I decided, I'm 37 now, but when I competed, I was 36, and I felt like I want to show women that like you can not only practice self-discipline as you get older,
Hmm.
but like spend 6 months just like being disciplined, working hard, and getting in like the best shape of your life, and like what a feeling that will be. And I just wanted to show women that, what it's like to transform your body. And I did it. I prepped for 6 months and then I won first place.
Wow, first
Yeah,
place.
yeah. So,
Congratulations. Yeah.
and I didn't go into it with any expectation. I just knew when I stepped on stage, I knew like I finally had this moment that I knew I not only was so disciplined, but I didn't cheat once, and I worked like I don't know if I could say this word, my butt off.
Yeah.
And I deserved like to at least feel proud of myself. That was like the first time, because I put so much pressure on myself, and so like the type of person that if I'm gonna do something, it's gonna be like 1,000%. So yeah, when I won, I was just like so proud of myself, and yeah, it was such a good accomplishment.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
sounds like an incredible accomplishment. Yeah, you should be
Yeah.
very proud of yourself. I can't agree more as well with what you said about the benefits that are associated with just lifting weights.
Hmm.
I think particularly with ladies, I imagine from your community, potentially there was definitely some reservations from some of your female following and other
Hmm.
people as well around the negative connotations that sometimes surround weightlifting,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
bodybuilding specifically. So yeah, what would you say to anyone about and around like any thoughts that people might have which are potentially negative around lifting weights is not good, it does this to your body or it does this to your joints? What would you say to those people?
Um, I feel like I would say if anyone's, I don't know, feeling that they don't, first of all, the whole myth about getting bulky, it's just untrue
Yeah.
unless you're taking steroids or you're, I don't know, doing something that you're eating more than any man out there,
Hmm.
then you're not going to get bulky. I've seen women like 2 years ago, I had a client come to me and she was turning 40.
Hmm.
She had never lifted a weight in her life. She always felt kind of like skinny fat. And then all I did was put her in a strength training program, and she got in the best shape of her life. She had that like lean, all the women always say toned. It's kind of a controversial word, but all the women always want that kind of look.
Yeah.
She looked like incredible. She felt the most confident she had ever felt in her whole life.
Hmm.
And I just think all women over 30 should be strength training. It's proven that our bone density,
Yeah.
gets worse as we age. I think it's I think as we age, we need to be doing, it's good to do cardio and all this stuff. And like, if you're passionate about high intensity, do it like 1 to 2, 3 times a week. But I think all women should be lifting weight. And if anyone would ever want to like bet me on it, I guarantee they will feel the most confident they've ever felt after, not only in their strength, but like in the way they feel and look. And they'll just notice that they'll have more energy, they'll feel stronger, their body like recomp will be insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're speaking not only from your own personal experience, but you've obviously got a wealth of clients who you've seen go through this journey as well. And the benefits that do come with lifting weights, it's just huge, right?
Yeah, definitely. And they don't have to be like trying to be a bodybuilder or a power lifter. I think bodybuilding specifically, not everybody should get into it. I do think that there's things that people should be aware of when entering that, because if you already have an issue with eating, it's going to highlight that.
Yeah.
If you already have an issue with like body dysmorphia, things like that, I think it can affect also hormones and everything. But as far as weightlifting, I think every single woman should at least do 1 to 2 days a week of weightlifting.
Yeah, I think what you said about bodybuilding there, I think what people need to be aware of is most sports at the extreme level, like the elite level, most of them are actually not too healthy, if we're honest. I mean, my sport, I used to play professional rugby, and professional rugby is actually like, there's a lot of negative health associations with that. I mean, least of all the head injuries, but also performing at the elite level is very, very tough on the body. You have to constantly be training at a certain level. You have to, you have to eat a certain way, which can obviously impact like mental health, especially if there's underlying issues. And it's the same if we look at multiple different sports. Strongman is another really good example. The strain you have to put your body through in order to compete at that level constantly is very, very tough.
Yeah. And you have to dedicate 24/7. And then if you're older, you have to dedicate a lot to recovery
But I think it's so true what you said. People think lifting weights or weightlifting, automatically they picture the extreme end, and it's like no, twice a week is good.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not 9 times a week.
Yeah,
like
currently I'm only doing it 4 times a week, and then I do once or twice a week like kettlebells, mobility, calisthenics, Pilates. I try and really like rotate. But I only lift 4 days a week now, and it's been the best for my body.
Yeah, this brings me back honestly to what you were saying around the whole online coaching world and people's knowledge and understanding of how to train. I mean, if you do have a coach such as yourself who can guide people through it, I mean, you actually start to understand that 4 or 5 times a week is absolutely fine. I think some people who are maybe beginning their fitness journey, or even some people who are quite experienced, they think I need to be training 7 times, 8 times, 9 times a week. I mean, my brother's actually big into high rocks. He's got this idea in his head that he needs to be training for 22 hours a week. And I'm like, what? That's crazy. That's more than 3 hours per day. I mean, your body's just going to break down. But I think, that's why it really is important to have like good guidance through this sort of thing, because it is a minefield out there.
And it depends on a client's lifestyle. Like I have clients in LA who work as a lawyer, as a CEO, like their jobs are so busy, and I only train them like 2 to 3 times a week for like 45 minutes, and they've seen a huge difference in their body. And so like everyone's lifestyle, not everyone can be in Phuket, live on Fitness Street, and make their entire 24 hours surrounded around
Unfortunately.
fitness.
I would love to do that.
And I feel like a lot of coaches now, they put these kind of videos on social media, putting down others who aren't like living this lifestyle that's like completely revolved around fitness and nutrition. And the reality is people who live in other places, like even you said in the UK, like they're not living the same life, It
even comes down to simple practicalities such as, I mean, the weather in the UK. I think it rains every single day. So just throwing your runners on and going for a 45-minute zone 2 it's not easy. It's raining, it's cold, it's windy, it's probably a little bit icy. Whereas here, it's perfect.
Exactly.
So I think there's a little bit of appreciation around different people's things, and we spoke earlier about chapters of your life, and it's understanding. I mean, your clients who have got these high-powered C-suite jobs, the chapter of their life at the moment is probably family and and business.
Yeah.
So, but that doesn't mean that then your fitness and your own personal health and wellness is zero.
Yeah.
But it can be 3 or 4 times a week, and that's fine.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's enough, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a really important message as well. So we spoke a little bit about the fact that you're from LA, and a lot of the fitness trends and things explode out of LA, which I do completely agree with. But we are seeing at the moment globally the sort of I don't know if it's a trend anymore, maybe slightly more than a trend, but the hybrid fitness races.
Yeah.
I work for Primal Race, which is the best hybrid fitness race in the world. But yeah, I think what obviously we've seen with High Rocks globally is incredible, and I think it's really helped a lot of people to find their passion.
Yeah.
And I think what we're doing with Primal Race, I mean, Primal Race started in the UAE 4 or 5 years ago as a little bit of a passion project, but has really sort of caught on with this hybrid fitness trend, which is all the craze now, and everybody wants to be a hybrid athlete because it's got this real cool perception, which it is cool. So yeah, what's your thought on this hybrid fitness racing world?
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I love that it's inspired so many people to work out. Even when I'm training, I use the open gym at Kong, and I'll be doing my, lifting session, and everyone is training for High Rocks, and everyone is training for, the next High Rocks and all that, or doing it for fun. And I feel like before it was either people were really into bodybuilding or people were doing CrossFit. And then High Rocks kind of took over, and I'm not gonna lie, when it first kind of blew up, I was definitely a little bit of a hater.
Okay.
And then all my friends trained for one, and then I went to the one in Bangkok last year, and I did one of the it was like a mini High Rocks challenge, and I pulled a car.
Yeah, nice.
And the vibe of the place and everything, it was so fun, and it was just like such a great environment. And I feel like I don't know. I can't even explain unless you go to one of those kind of either a Primal Race or a High Rocks competition or something. Like, there's just a vibe and energy that makes you so lit up, and it's so fun to see everybody working hard, and you're cheering your friends on. And I mean, I wish you can have people in a bodybuilding competition in the audience, but it's not the same as like before that there was only CrossFit competitions or powerlifting competitions, and like you have to be at a pretty elite level to do those kind of things, where I feel like now these hybrid kind of competitions, it really opens it up to everyone to really like have a goal, work for it, and it's fun also.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm all about it now.
Yeah, I agree completely. You said a lot of things there which I agree with, to be honest. But I think the one that you finished with about having a goal, I mean, that even links with what you said about your own personal experience of when you won that competition. I mean, you worked so hard, you were so focused, you didn't cheat once, and it's because you have that goal at the end of it. So I think what High Rocks and other hybrid fitness races are doing, and Primal as well, is that we are giving people something to aim for.
Yeah.
I know that when Primal started, the main driving force behind it was to actually give as many people the experience of feeling like an athlete as they could.
Yeah.
And that's what you get when you do come to these races. You come, this is your time to shine. You're sharing the floor with, regardless of what your level is, you've got complete beginners, but you've also got super advanced guys, some people who do this for a living, but you're all out there, you're all doing the same race. And I think that's actually where some of the magic is the fact that whether you're doing it in Bangkok or whether you're doing it in Dubai or whether you're doing it somewhere else, the race is always the same. So immediately you've got thousands of people with who you share a commonality. You've got something in common. You're all going to suffer together, which is quite reassuring, I guess.
And I've met people who have come to the street to train for these kind of races, and I've seen people who they had no inspiration before. They weren't inspired to just like get in shape for nothing. And then they would get in shape for one of these races, and I see their confidence just like blow up, and then they get so excited to do them like in different places around the world. So I think it's definitely a beautiful like new trend in the fitness world.
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree. So I do have some questions as we come towards the end of the podcast.
Okay.
So let me look at my notes here because we didn't go through any of these, which is good. But I do want to talk a little bit about, because I think something really important to talk about is, I mean, I think your knowledge would be appreciated from people's, but I mean, it's probably hard to pin this down to just one question, but I did write this one at the start, probably for myself, actually. Maybe I can learn something from you. But is there something common that you see when we talk about the biggest common mistakes we see from people when it comes to their own training?
I feel like a big one that I have been realizing, and I posted a story about it today, is that people are no longer connected to their own body.
Wow, okay.
And I feel like I see so many people, and they just kind of like, they'll look on like social media or they'll watch something and they just kind of like copy it and go through the motion, whether it's any type of training. And then they actually, I'll talk to people and they're just not connected to their body. Like, for example, I put a girl through my leg day a couple weeks ago, and she had never like felt connected to her core. She had never felt the right muscle groups doing certain exercises, and I just kind of like tweaked her a little bit. I had her slow everything down. I had her, go back to like a lighter weight, but still keeping it challenging, and just not rush through the movement and try to really, and like the whole time I was like, what muscle are you feeling right now? What muscle are you connecting to? And it was the first time that she felt connected to her body.
Why do you think this is then? Why do you think people, I mean, I guess it's physical literacy, is it?
Yeah.
Not knowing your body, not being able to move as you should be moving, maybe. Why?
Yeah.
What do you think is the reason behind this?
I think it's multiple things. I think it's like I said, like people are just kind of trying to do the movement without, I don't know, like slowing down, or they'll go to a class. And I think there's so many classes in the world now that quality of coaching has kind of gone down a little bit. And I've seen classes where they're just having everybody rush through everything, and they're not even going around and like correcting people or telling them like, hey, you should be doing it this way. And then I think like, so then no one's ever getting that knowledge, because they're going to only get that knowledge from either a coach or finding something within themselves to connect to.
That's actually that is very insightful. And I do have to agree. I think that we do see that. And unfortunately, as much as I mean, I am a big fan of CrossFit, but I think that is quite common to see in CrossFit classes.
Yeah.
Because we alluded to briefly earlier that, CrossFit, it is very technical. It is very difficult, and I do feel like, unfortunately, we see CrossFit classes happening everywhere, and there's no real coaching taking place.
Yeah.
We're not taking people through movement patterns properly. We're not asking them to move in a certain way. And when you're doing heavy overhead squats or muscle ups, I mean, an injury is inevitable, isn't it? So
when I owned my gym, a lot of clients would come from CrossFit, and they would have these injuries that in my opinion, only like athletes should be getting these type of injuries. And I was always wondering, like, why are they getting these injuries? But I feel like if someone's just trying to like get fit, they shouldn't be getting like athletes that are more common. I mean, injuries that are more common in athletes.
Yeah. Yeah. Controversial point. Firing shots at CrossFit. I'm sorry.
No, but still good. Still a good workout. I used to teach at a CrossFit, and it's still a great workout. But I do think that like people just need to work with coaches that, or at least like do a beginner class and learn the movement and like progress from there. Even like I'm currently trying to improve in calisthenics, and it's something, there's like some things I'm good at, some things are out of my comfort zone, and like I have to slowly progress. I can't just.
No, I think you're right, and I don't want people to think that I'm taking a shot at CrossFit coaches either, because I do think accountability does have to lie with the participants. Like they do try and sprint before they can walk. A lot of people wouldn't go to a beginner's class. I mean, I never went to a CrossFit beginner's class, and I'm awful at CrossFit. So I probably should have built those foundations, moved correctly. And then when you are thrown into an environment where you need to do a workout which has got all these gymnastic movements and some barbell cycling, you're getting the most out of that workout because you're moving as you should.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, yeah, so maybe that was a little bit unfair of me to blame the coaches. Maybe it's people like me's problem for just being...
No, I think both sides, you know. It's the same with like a gym, right? Like people go in and just go for it, and which is great, but also everyone, if they have it in their budget, it'd be good to like do 1 or 2 sessions with a trainer and kind of learn all the equipment and no, I agree. So for our listeners then, for anyone that's enjoyed today's podcast, where can they find you? Where can they learn a little bit more about you and what you do? So I am still a fitness trainer, but I also have 2 YouTube channels now. One is Tiffany Leah, and it's just like my life living all over the world. And then my main channel is Tiffany Leah Fitness and Mindset, and it's basically me not only showing my own workouts, but I travel the world and train with other trainers because I basically wanted it to be less about myself, and I wanted it to be me removing my own ego and working out with people that I'm learning from and doing workouts that might be a workout like a bodybuilding workout that I feel a little like comfortable in, or a workout that's completely out of my comfort zone. So that's kind of my main passion right now, is that YouTube channel. And then I'm on Instagram, Tiffany Leah _, and and TikTok, all the social media.
Well, make sure you check out Tiffany, guys, for everything and more that we've spoken about today. Thank you so much for Pure Prep for hosting the podcast, and Buffalo Whey as well for the protein, keeping us nice and strong. And we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.